Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadigurum Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, who is the destroyer of the demons Kamsa and Chanura, who is the delight of Mother Devaki, the Lord of the universe and the Guru of the universe. We salute him again and again. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So, we are back to the study of our Narada's way of divine love, Narada Bhakti Sutras. And we have read up to verse number 25. Today we'll start at the verse 26. And that verse 26 will tell us that bhakti is the ultimate end and goal of spiritual life. That's why Ramakrishna taught us to ask from God what to ask for. Love, devotion, vivek, vairagya. Mother, I do not know anything. I throw myself at thy hallowed feet. So I have no devotion, I have no knowledge, no renunciation. Give me love, devotion, renunciation. So that is the prayer Sri Ramakrishna taught us. So, because why? Because bhakti is the goal. Bhakti means to love God and to feel the joy of being with Him. And bhaktas don't want to be united with God, but wants to be little separated and to serve Him. That is the desire of the bhakta. So the verse number 26, what we will read today, it says, Bhakti says, 26 verse says, Sa phalarupatvat. So what 25th verse says, that sa tu karma jnana yoge opi adhikatara. It said that sa, this devotion, not the ordinary devotion, but that devotion is the para-bhakti, which Radharani used to have for Krishna, which Sri Chaitanya have for God, Krishna. So that intense love, supreme love, sa, that bhakti is superior to the path of karma, jnana, yoga, that more, it's more than that which can the karma, jnana, yoga path can take. So there is a, people may think, why this type of statement? That means you are belittling the path of karma, the path of yoga, the path of jnana. Is it good? They are bad? That they will say, no, ours is good. But no, don't make a mistake. So that karma, path of karma, there is friction, there is ego. Here is also ego. Bhakta may have ego. I am better than you. I love God more than, I do more meditation than you do. I do prayer more than anyone does. So there will be ego. So in which way? Bhakti is superior to karma. Jnana, I am that Atman, I am that Atman. People, when they do, if they are not matured with devotion and thing, you will find them they are very nose high people. I am higher than you. These bhaktas are lower category. I am Jnani, I am Atman. Huh? But what they understand, they become more arrogant. And they delude themselves with their negative impacts of their thinking. Because what is that? I am the keeping the full identity with the body, and I am not the body when you say. It is a charming sensation is there. But in application, it is a worst application people do wrongly, keeping the body identity, thinking that I am the body and saying, word in the mouth we say, I am Atman. Not feeling the equanimity with all, day by day, I am Atman, and not looking at the gunas play. Everything is gunas play and consciousness is the essence. Not looking in that side. When people do follow the practice of Jnana Yoga, that brings them also some negative impact. So also dhyana, I am a meditator, so I meditate and I become one with God, I become merged into Him, I am calm, I am serene. These people don't do meditate, they only go and hold round, and these bhaktas like dance and sing. Yeah. So that also is bringing ego, bringing much negative impact is so many ways, pride, anger, not improving all these things, mere practice of bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, or bhakti yoga, karma yoga, or dhyana yoga, there are impediments. Therefore, bhakti is superior. But what else is, bhakti is superior. Bhakti also says, I am somebody. And not that way, I am humble. But I am humble means, I am somebody. I am humbler than you, so I am great in that way. You are humble to the degree 10, I am humble to the degree 8. I am humbler. But when someone says, aha, he is very humble, then people say, I feel, see, I am humble. So people respect me. So in a subtle way, all these things work. He is not talking about that bhakti also. It's a matured bhakti where fulfillment comes, accomplishment comes in life. That is the highest. So it says that that bhakti is karma, jnana and yogya ebbha odhikatara. It is much higher than that. That we read the other verse. And also we have read there that in the Bhagavat they have described who is fit for which path. Who is fit for Bhakti Yoga, who is fit for Jnana Yoga. There he has said, those who have tremendous renunciation, they and no attachment to anything in the worldly, they are fit for Jnana Yoga. Those who have little detachment is also there, but not the world still pulls him a little bit. So this, little that, they will be doing the karma yoga. And those who have attachment to the world, and at the same time they want to love, they practice bhakti yoga. Like that he has mentioned the three people of different mental state can follow different path. Karma yogastu yogina. What is that verse? I forgot. Anyhow, So, the main thing is a Bhakti Yoga also. Bhakti Yoga is that path where one wants to detach from the world but attach to God. He loves everything because everything is connected with God. Because God is there, so I love it. Not because the object is there, because of that I love. Because the flower is good, I don't love. But because God in the flower has manifested as fragrance, as beauty, I love that. So this is the attitude of a bhakta. That's called Jnana Mishra Bhakti. This bhakti is mixed with Ramakrishna. Emphasize that this bhakti is the bhakti which gives mixed with jnana. Now, 27 verse says, Phalarupatvat. Bhakti is the greatest, bhakti is the ultimate end and goal of spiritual life. All other paths lead a man to its realization. All other paths lead a man to its realization. That means what bhakti attains, they are paths. But bhakti is the goal. What he is saying, bhakti is the end, journey ends in bhakti. That means that is the bhakti where all types of distinction just collapses. That's a goal. Jnana yogi is reaching that goal. Karma yogi attaining that goal. And then dhyana yogi attaining that goal. So he is saying bhakti is the end result of all paths. So here it is explained this way. It has already been pointed out on page 70, verse number 26. It has already been pointed out that supreme love and illumined knowledge of God are identical. People may make a distinction, this is different, that is different, but supreme love, and not knowledge ordinary, but illumined love, illumined knowledge, not the intellectual knowledge. So mark the words. Supreme love and illumined knowledge, they are already the same. অত দূরে কেন এইদিকে বসুন না অনেক আমরা 2-3 জন আছি 2-3 people. So and they are identical. To realize the supreme love which gives ultimate knowledge of Godhead is therefore considered as the purpose and fruit of all spiritual discipline. So what is the purpose of all spiritual discipline? And what is the net result, fruit of religion? Is that to realize that supreme love which gives the universe unitive knowledge of the Godhead, which helps us to tune us with God. So that is called the supreme love, and in that supreme love it is illumined knowledge, both are the same. But to realize, how to realize the love which gives that type of love which ultimately, though it is dual, but ultimately merges into one. I have referred many times that there is a statement, it is called, the bhaktas are saying, they, at this point of starting the spiritual journey, bhakta thinks God is separate from me. But as one moves more and more towards God, then what will happen? This distinction vanishes. And then at the ultimate point when they unite, that's why the Vaishnava statement is there, the na so ramana, na ham ramani, duhu mili eka peshala jani. At the starting, he is my beloved Lord, he is my adorable Lord, he is the master, I am the servant, whatever attitude you take. And highest they call the madhura bhava, the lover and the beloved. So he is my beloved, and thinking this way when mind soars higher and higher and higher, and that I am not seeing him like Sri Chaitanya, crying and weeping and rolling down in the ground, chanting the name Ramakrishna, rolling down in the ground like that. And that ultimately they end in union. That means that is called the samadhi. That time he said, oh, he lost his outer consciousness. Sri Chaitanya is to lose his outer consciousness now and then. Ramakrishna, we find that he used to lose his outer awareness now and then. That we call samadhi. But it is there, in that state, no so Ramana, he is not the delight of my life. And no hum Ramani, that I want to crave that realization, connection with him. These two, duhu mili eka, these two, the lover and the beloved, they become one. Duhu mili eka. And that is the ultimate state of the bhaktas. So it is almost the same Jivatman and Paramatman. Those people, because our idea is from childhood, we hear this thing again and again. Rather, to us it seems very natural to think this way. But those who are built up with one type of concept that I am separate and this is separate, and so it is very difficult to penetrate into their thought. That's why they become dogmatic. They become orthodox, we call orthodox. Orthodox means what? They are very much ingrained into their old pattern thoughts and no inclusiveness, exclusiveness. One young girl from Greece, he wrote a letter that she is Orthodox Christian, but she is a young girl. But her heart speaks about Krishna. So, but if her family knows that she is not following their Christianity, then it is risky bad and they cannot believe what will happen to her. So she, with confusion, wrote a letter, what to do? Please give me advice. My heart and soul goes for only Christ and Christ. And my mother said, Krishna and Krishna. But this church and other teachings does not resonate with my heart. So what can I do? And then she said that mother asked, do you still believe Mary, Virgin Mary? He said, yes, but I don't recognize, I don't resonate with that. What to do? So then I wrote a letter that, in our tradition, people are thinking that Christ is totally different, Mother Mary is totally different. Mother Mary, Christ in the one group, okay, they are good, but others are not good. So, but in our tradition it is all, as we philosophy is Brahman, one Satchidananda manifests in different names and forms. So to us, it is Christ is same as Krishna, Krishna is equal as Rama, as like Ramakrishna. Here Mother Mary is equal to Sri Radharani. Like that I wrote, like Ramakrishna and Ma Sarada, like all these ideas. And I'm so happy. Then I said that, people unnecessarily making this fight. You try to see that, yes, your Mother Mary is your Radha. Your Christ is Krishna. They are not two different, at different time only they appear. And this is our faith and we believe in that, and that is the ultimate truth. Realized soul have experienced that. I am very happy to see that she said, I have reconciled everything now. It was such a relief for her. That means this Vedanta is such a truth. It is truth and truth alone. No exclusivity, but inclusiveness. Every idea, every thought is included there. So it says that that to realize the supreme love which gives this unitive knowledge of Godhead is therefore considered as the purpose and fruit of spiritual discipline. So the purpose is to ultimately merge with that absolute bliss. Why I love Krishna? Krishna is the embodiment of bliss. He is the embodiment of sweetness and joy. That's why I crave for him. And when you're going close and close and close, then you're so much sucked into the love of Krishna that you lose your another separate entity. Example, mountain of magnet mountain. And, and a say element of a piece of your iron. It attracts. When it does, Ramakrishna's example, it does not feel the attraction. Why? When it is covered with clay, selfishness, egocentricity, our sensual attractions for mundane things, no? So, but when it is cleaned, what happens? It is automatic feels this attraction. And that not only attraction, it then ultimately sucks. And what it does? Magnet was separate entity, pulling the iron, piece of iron was a separate entity, and then it comes closer and closer, it then pulls, and ultimately it pulls into what ultimately, when it pulls, you put a pin and take a strong magnet. What happens? It gets stuck to the magnet. And see afterwards, this was my favorite example I have not given for a long time. But when that needle or that piece of, like our life, needle, little petty life, covered with dust and dirt, but in the world and worldliness, running in this in pleasure and pain and suffering and misery and death and disease and worries and pain. When it gets cleaned and cleaned and cleaned little, the attraction is felt, no? And then if it comes very close, what happens? You see, it gets stuck. It is difficult to pull it out, no? If it is a strong magnet. And metal is pure iron, no? It's a alloy, then it will be little, again, alloy means what? It is not pure. There is something impure. And then, after sometimes you see, you hang, we used to play in our early days, no? One pin to a magnet, and that become magnetized, and bring another pin, and it holds that pin, hanging. Attraction. It has become magnet. The one pin which is sticking with the magnet, magnetism had been induced. The love which was in the magnet God is induced into the personality of the small, tiny piece of iron. This tiny piece of this man and woman who are sitting here, or you are meditating or praying and crying, we become saint. What is the saint? He is connected, so deeply tuned that his identity has merged in there. And as a result, he himself has become a source of attraction. You put another, we used to do, few comes down, 4, 5 is hanging from one pin to the other pin to the other pin. It's just a play. But what a great philosophy this bhakti. When it is attracted, you lose yourself. No one says it is a piece of iron or pin. It is magnet. And then magnetic characteristics come, manifest through that piece of needle. So this human personality, the magnetic characteristic, the divine characteristic, attraction, divinity, the purity, that will attract others. And that will be common. It is, look at that. How many people used to run for Ramakrishna to see Ramakrishna? What he has, his bed is so simple, there is only in the floor there is one mat, tiny mat, and his bed is two pieces of plank, makes the bed, lower bed, higher bed. No furniture in the room. What type of man? And whole Calcutta is full there. But see, the attraction of what? That magnet. And you go, who have gone very close to Ramakrishna, see, they have become magnetized. They have become Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Shivananda. No? So, they have the magnetic particle. We have the magnetic particle. But they have purified that. That's why the negativities from that magnet has been taken away by prayer, meditation, and constant whatever sadhana. No? So this is the purpose here. So you become magnet. That time you are not separate anymore. So that will happen. Therefore, to realize the supreme love which gives the unitive knowledge, this unitive knowledge of Godhead is therefore considered as the purpose and fruit of spiritual discipline. So, what is the goal of spiritual life? All we are struggling, all the spiritual journey through different religions, they are all searching to go to feel that attraction. And how to feel that attraction? Unless the alloy is removed from the individual person's life, all rajas, tamas quality, and then also sattvika quality. First tamas, then rajas, and even sattvika quality, which is so good, that is to be abandoned. And then you become alloy, free magnet, a piece of iron, and naturally it will go. Naturally you will be tuned to God consciousness. You will be a Ramana Maharshi. You will be Saint Tukaram. You will be a Saint Ram Prasad. You will be Brahmananda, Shivananda. Can be, if the purity goes to that far, they will be like that. So, and that will be the Lord's glory manifest through these people, holy people. So Bhagavad Gita, he is quoting, to love is to know me, my innermost nature, the truth that I am. To this knowledge he enters at once to my being. All that he does is offered before me in utter surrender. My grace is upon him. He finds eternal, the place unchanging. So they come to me, and that me is the state which is unchanging, which is eternal. And when one's innermost nature, they understand the innermost nature of Rama, or Krishna, or Christ, or Buddha. What is the innermost nature? Not the outer feature, but the innermost purity, innermost love, and pure ocean of love and joy they find in them. This Swami, what is called Tagis Ananda Maharaj, he has explained the same verse in this way. Sutra 26 gives the reason of the superiority of the spiritual experience to the various yogas. The yogas are only methods or practices, and are needed only so long as one has not realized the highest. That only help the aspirant on his way to the goal. A road, spiritual journey. It helps us to move towards the ultimate truth. The para bhakti, as I said, supreme love is para bhakti. That para bhakti described above is, on the other hand, the goal itself. Bhakti is the goal itself. Through karma, you reach the destination. No. But by bhakti path you follow, you reach bhakti. Following bhakti, you become bhakta. You follow the path of bhakti, then you become a bhakti, saturated bhakti. So it is as if bhakti and path merges into the goal. But karma is a path which leads you to bhakti or unitive knowledge, as is defined here. They only help the aspirant on his way to the goal. The paths lead to the goal. Goal and path are not the same. But in bhakti, bhakti itself is a path. Bhakti itself is a goal. Why? When you actually practice bhakti, and you live and weep and cry for God, no? That itself, you see the charm of bhakti, what it can give. Those who can really cry even one day, a little one drop of tear comes down, that person knows what is called bhakti. That is, gives so much peace inside and joy because of that pure state of mind when tears flow for God. So,
But in case of Jnana also it is the path of Jnana and you attain also knowledge.
but this jnana is a path, and then you don't get the charm of that. During the path of jnana practice is a dry path. You will have to delete everything, not this, not this, not this, not this, not this. At the beginning, I am a student. You are making me, hey, don't see television, don't eat food, don't go that side, don't look at that side. And then only do, and then I cannot do that. That's a journey is little tougher. That's why Gita also said, Jnana is for whom? Whose heart is purified a little bit by practice of bhakti. What you call the alloy, some of the alloys have been driven away. Karma, why? Karma means fight, no? Two people, when they are friend, but when they go to have some work together, my opinion, your may, I think this way, why this way, and you said that, I said that. It is a friction. So during this frictional period, in the period of friction, what is the joy? But in bhakti, if one can do this bhakti practice, just earnestly pray one day, see what happens. One day pray earnestly, oh Thakur, oh Ma, I cannot take it anymore. See, with sincerity, immediately feel the joy. This is a distinction between bhakti path and the other path. Dhyana. Dhyana is so struggling. Tell me, we all meditate in this shrine. Hours we close our eyes and meditating and hearing every noise, who is coming, who is going, what voice. Why is it disturbance? Why it is disturbance? Means your mind is an outside. What are you doing? You are not meditating anything. One after 1 hour, your face becomes little disgusted. Why? But bhakti, if you really love God and say earnestly pray or cry or weep and do japa and this, immediately, if you really have little bit emotion, because emotion is our nature, no? We use that emotion in other aspect. So it becomes, that's why it is easy for masses. Not to say Jnanapath is bad, no, that is not our intention, because we practice all. But to understand, if your mind is not purified by bhakti practice, you don't keep a relationship with God, you don't feel any separation, pain. Okay, the days are going on, what am I gaining? And oh Lord, please do, I am trying, it is not helping me, you are the only support. With intense, Thakur said that every intense prayer will be replied. God replies to every prayer. If you are sincere to them, 100%, you want that, you will get it. Anything, material to spiritual. So, we get immediate. It is like you are, someone is saying there will get good ice cream, but on your journey you can little taste. We do that in keeping the in the cows in India. They make it grind the seeds to make oil, and they put a piece of straw, no, and in the front before his mouth. But the cow cannot reach that. But he likes that. And as all the time he's touching, getting to get that straw, he moves that and his legs move. And that's why that cow moves and the rod grinds that seeds to bring out the oil. But you cannot reach that. But in bhakti, they give a little touch. Take little one sprinkle. Ha ha ha. Oh, acha acha. There is full stock. So move on, move on. So this journey is little sweeter for ordinary people because as I gave the example also, you are hiking, and hiking may be very difficult if it is rock climbing, in a rope climbing. So you have no luxury to see the beauty outside, right and left and this and that. No. You will have to be one-pointed and climb. How hard? But you will reach earlier, of course, because you are going straight. But are you fit for that? If you are not fit, you will fall down and break your arms. So better to rather go take a longer route, no? A long trail. And you as I give the example, you take some cup of coffee with your flask in the coffee and snacks and some sweets and then snacks. And you got tired after walking maybe half an hour. So you have gone little up. And then you can, oh, what a beautiful scene around. And you can relax in a vista, see the vista, and munch something. That is bhakti. You go and enjoy this and then go. Again you make a journey. It takes long time. But journey is sweet. But the jnana path, you cannot have any such option that I will also enjoy. See the scene, how is that? I'm climbing like that. The two things will not go together. So that's why the journey is sweeter journey. That's why it is called much easier. And ultimately, as you move in love of God, people tears and all the 8 sattvika vikara, holy expressions of divine love, manifest through the body of a devotee when they practice more and haripilation all over the body. Great goosebumps come, the thrill of joy flows as they move in a higher and higher level. And that's why when they are moving in that direction, if they parallelly practice the Vedantic path, that makes it much enjoyable. But otherwise Vedantic path is dry. But Vedantic path is not dry because if their sincerity is there and the purification of the heart happens, then each path will give you joy. But more so the bhakti path. So he says that the parabhakti described above is on the other hand the goal itself, and such is superior. In that yogas are useless when it once attained. In such a superior parabhakti described above is on the other hand the goal itself. And as is superior, in that yogas are useless when it is once attained. If you reach the climax, then you don't need to practice your karma or jnana. It's not necessary. Bhakti itself will give the jnana. Bhakti path, if you follow, it will give you the right experience and knowledge, which jnana path will also give. We sometimes think jnani should be the highest. No. Jnani highest means who have the experience. That jnani. Jnani too, and Gita also says jnani is the highest.
But you can pursue both at the same time. Can't you?
That we follow. But we are reading the bhakti path. Bhakti books are saying bhakti is the highest, but not the bhakti we practicing bhakti, but the reach goal of bhakti. When you reach the bhakti, end of bhakti, journey. But your journey is sweet, that's the point. Bhakti journey is a sweet path. You are not to say, I will not allow my tongue to be a slave of the food and taste. Bhakti will say, no. I will take the prasad, I will offer it to God, and I will take the prasad, so I will enjoy. But not as sweet, but as prasad of the Lord. So, I will enjoy the beauty. You want to enjoy the beauty? Okay. Then bring new costly costumes for baby Krishna in the name of Krishna. You bring perfume and spray, I am giving it to you. But you are smelling. Huh? Oh, I am prasad. It's not, I am not smelling. It is, I am offered it to God. That means you are still having enjoyment little bit, just giving a coating, sugar coating, that it is offered to God, offered to God, offered to God. But Vedanta will say, throw away the perfume. Huh? Huh? Too many flowers. Vedanta will say, a flower is what? Offer your mind as flower. No? And they will say, bring $100 flower. And then fill up such a way that you don't see the God, Lord. Decorators wish, sometimes you see decorators are such, they decorate in such a way, you don't see whom you are decorating. he is gone. Anyhow, so but with devotion when you do, you costly flower you are offering, the fragrance it is coming, but it is all divinized because I am offering to God, offering purified. The yogas represent a lower stage in spiritual development, and parabhakti represents the highest stage. That I have explained so long. Instead of saying that it is the fruit, Narada says it is of the nature of fruit. This is only to indicate that although in the ordinary way it may be spoken of as a result of spiritual practice, really it is not the effect of any sadhana done by aspirant. It is Bhakti also says, Ramakrishna also said, do you think that you will realize God by your own effort? Bhakta says, no, by His grace only. No, only by His grace. We are reading this morning about Bhakti, grace, grace, grace. You cannot do anything. Can you do by japa? Holy Mother said, no, you cannot. By meditation? No. Then wow, what is the way? By God's grace only you can get it. So, spoken as a result of practice, really it is not the effect of sadhana. Because you are doing, but then what is the meaning of sadhana? Which sadhana we do to wipe out all the rubbish from our mind. For God realization, we don't need anything. It comes again and again. God is here and now, no? If you want to see Krishna, Krishna is here and now, Rama is here and now, standing. Ramakrishna is here. Now, I don't see, because my mind is so much clouded, it will never allow me to see that. And the purity of the mind comes, mind becomes clean, then this mind will show Mother standing here, Ramakrishna standing in the corner. So our Swami Prabhupada saw that bell, the ringing place, Ramakrishna standing there in the steps in the front, or in the right side stairs. He saw Holy Mother sitting there, standing there, whatever. What I don't see, why you don't see? It's a moment when the mind becomes transparent. It is there we can see. It is our place. The whole world is the place of the Lord. So, it is, if it is an effect that you do so much japa or so much prayer, because of that God has been realized. Vedanta says God is not an object to be purchased. It is not a commodity. Oh, I do 10,000 japa, so I will realize God. No. 10,000 japa we are doing to counteract our negative thinking, our bad thoughts, our unproductive thoughts, to remove that. And when that unproductive thoughts will go away, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhu Kubhunoy. A very beautiful quotation from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. The love of Krishna is ever attained. It is here now, for you, for me. The goal is achieved. But Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karaye Prakash. It makes manifest in your heart. What? By Shravana, listening to the glories of the Lord, Shravana, Manana, Nididhasana, or Vedantic way, whatever, listening your Atman, your Atman, your Atman, Shravana Adi, Shuddha, Chitta. When your Chitta, mind, becomes pure, Shuddha, then Karai Uday, it will spontaneously manifest. For God realization, you don't need anything. It is here. It wants to manifest. But it has been covered with this mind's dirtiness of the mind, or bad samskaras. No? So even Bhakti Shastra is talking about that. It's a very great quotation that so Nitya Siddho, as Vedanta says, Brahman is ever present, no? Satchidananda Brahman. So Bhakti, scripture saying, Krishna Prem, the love for Krishna, is spontaneous, is everyone have it now. Nitya. Whatever may be the person is doing outwardly, but that love, intense identity with the Lord Krishna is here itself now. But only it manifests when? Na Shobhanadi, by listening the glories, singing His glories, dancing in the name of God, and chanting the name. Like that, purification. Karaye, as you do, then it will do prakas. Uday. Udaya means prakas. Karaye uday. Anyhow, so if it is an effect, then it cannot be everlasting. Jukti. If it is, you can purchase. You can purchase by $10 something. So what you purchase, money is limited, $10. And the product you got is also limited object. So after few minutes use, it will be obsolete, thrown away. Even if $1 million you purchase one jewel, the jewel will be broken, jewel will lose its luster gradually in time. It is not permanent. But only when you are purified, then it will manifest. So, as everything that has come into existence must also pass out of existence in the natural course of things. In fact, the eternality of these experiences is one thing that distinguishes it from such things as the experience of heaven. So people want to heaven. Heaven is temporary. Heaven is changeable. So, not to expect to go to heaven, but to expect to fall in love with God and to be absolutely one in the joy of God. Sandilla, another sage, in Sandilla Sutra, he speaks of it in the same strain, that Parabhakti is not the effect of any action or effort on man's part, is again adverted to Sutra number 30. So these two ideas also supported by not only by Narada, but it is also supported by Sandilla, the sage Sandilla. There are two books, what is called Narada Sutra, we are reading. Another book is there, Sandilla Sutra. See, this book carries both the, only the originals, the verses are there. Written by what? That Acharya Sandilla. He has also given some aphorisms. So they, both these two bhakti schools of teacher say the same thing. Now let us go to the verse number 27. What 27 verse teaches? It says, Ishwarasya api abhimano deshitvat. Ishwarasya, Ishwara means God. Even he dislikes abhimana. God likes everything, but does not like the pride and ego. Abhiman. Abhiman means pride, ego. He hates, God hates who has the ego and pride. All the pride and ego, Ravana had the pride. Kamsa had the pride. So they had to be smashed. And also we have so much pride and ego. So long pride and ego, God does not come there. It's a very simple formula. A baby, when the baby is there, mother takes charge of everything. Is it not? Baby has no responsibility. Nothing has to do. Only baby is baby. Ego is not developed. Huh? A bird, you look at the bird, when it is just coming out, no? How much affection, love, protection, mother and father both are protecting, even nature. But when the times come, the fledgling is growing, little this, and then this same mother will peck, hey, get out, go, have your own life. No? And we become adult. And when we become adult, mother says, okay, my son has become adult. So no responsibility anymore. You go on your own. Same philosophy. So long ego is there, God does not come in our life. God hates this, as in the nature also. But when there is no ego, see, every animal, look at that, every animal in the animal world, a cub, a tiger, a baby tiger, no? A baby elephant. Look at mother, and a cat, baby dog. Look at everywhere is baby, ego is not developed. How much affection and protection from mom and dad.
That's why they're so cute.
Cute. You have seen, I sometimes moved here and there. So walking in the morning by the side of a lake, and a duck mother is moving with her children. So if I walk close to, then the mother comes and tries to hit me. Because protection is my children. What dare you? You are to try to do any harm? In earthly mother also. No, I got several times that type of experience. Baby ducks are going on, so Ari Baba, the mother comes and striking at me. I said, why is this? Because she thinks that he may disturb hit my child, baby, no? So because the baby has no ego, mother is coming forward to protect. So that is the egolessness. That's why God likes that egolessness. And when there is a little ego, I said, okay, he can manage his own business. I don't need it. That story you know, that there was a man, washerman, have given, after washing the clothing and put on the grass to dry. And one devotee was totally intoxicated in God's name. He was chanting Krishna, 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 Krishna. And he just walked over the freshly washed clothing with his dirty feet. Naturally, the clothing are getting dirty. Naturally, the washerman got mad. And he was going to hit him, to throw him, hey, why are you, get out, like that. When the washerman was going to beat that person who is absorbed in Krishna, 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 he suddenly got to know, what? And then because he was coming to hit, he was trying to throw a stone and throw against the washerman. In the heaven, Lord Narayana was resting, and suddenly Mother Lakshmi saw Narayana without telling anything, ran. And within a split second, again he comes back. So Mother Lakshmi asked, what has happened? You so hurriedly ran, even not to say anything, and I was perplexed. Well, my devotee was in difficulty, because he was calling upon me, and he didn't notice there is the freshly washed clothing, and he put his feet on those things, and the washerman was angry to beat him, to protect that, because he's thinking of me. His ego is gone. He is thinking of me. I am there, so I am to protect. So I ran to protect him. But then, okay, why did you come back so quickly? But in the middle way I was going to protect, by that time I saw that he, the bhakta, the devotee, has taken his own measure. He has taken another piece of stone to throw. So he is taking care of, so I have no responsibility, so I came back. This is a very wonderful story. When we give, surrender this to God, then we are free. We cannot, and there is our weakness. So God dislikes, the very point, it says that the bhakti is, God dislikes egotism. And Ishvarasopi Obhimano Deshitvat. Obhiman, an ego, pride, God does not like it. It hates, God hates to see the ego and pride in someone. And Doino Priyatvacha, and he loves if someone is humble and surrender. That is the characteristic of a bhakta. Bhakti is also not easy. I will keep my ego and I will do all these things, then God will dislike, naturally, as is a normal rule. But if anyone takes surrender and humble, doino, very beautiful Sanskrit word, doino priyatvacha. Priyo means we love, it is endearing. What? Doino, and humility. If that person has humility, egolessness, positively, negatively. Positively, God does not like it. Negatively, God likes it. Most dear to him, no? That's why Tameva Sharanam Gaccha, in the Bhagavad Gita it says, Sarva Bhavena Bharata, O Krishna, in all possible ways, Tam eva Sharanam Gaccha, you take refuge in him, that God, no? He is telling sometimes me, sometimes telling God, no? Tameva Sharanam Gaccha, Sarva Bhavena, in all your aspects of your life, all the movement of your life, take refuge in him. Aham tvam sarva papebho. Don't worry. You have committed much blunder, mistakes. I will redeem you. Aham tvam sarva papebho. All types of sin. Whatever you have committed. So, aham tvam sarva papebho. Moksha ishami. I will free you, liberate you from all this type of sins. Ma sucha. Don't repent. You are not to repent anything. Go on doing whatever you like. I will catch you. Holy Mother said to one of the devotees, Mother, I have done this bad thing, and then what will happen? Well, what? What will happen? I am there for you. Go whatever you want to do. So this is he didn't say the same thing to everyone. She said it to one who is really humbled and really surrendered to Mother, can surrender. So that is the point. If we can surrender, don't care whatever we have done, whatever we have thought, it is nothing for him. The Lord or Mother, you can say Mother or Father, whatever. Like the story of the mosquito. Mosquito was long time sitting on the horn of a bull. And after sitting for a few hours, he was really very thankful because he took shelter on the horn of the bull. And he was a quite courteous man. So the mosquito said, thank you, bull, Mr. Bull. I have troubled you for a long time by sitting on your horn. Thank you so much, you bear my load. Then the bull says what? God is like bull. And our suffering, our misery, our bad, our good, our whatever is like that, weight of a mosquito. Then he said, you are worried about it. You bring your whole family and live on my horn forever. What it bothers? If 10 mosquito, 100 mosquito sits on the horn of a bull for one day, 1 month, 1 year, what is that to bull? Is it in weight? This is for God it is no weight. We think, I am this, I am that. Don't have to think about anything. Only take surrender. Say, oh Lord, you are my everything. Please help me. Redeem me. So, this is the point. Bhakti is the greatest also. Bhakti is greatest. Why? But God dislikes egotism and loves humility. That's the beauty of Bhakti Yoga. God dislikes egotism. Means what? Means that as long as we have egotism and vanity, God remains hidden or covered within us. The man of God who has attained this supreme love transcends ego consciousness. That we always see. Those who have realized people, they have overcome their ego. If in the one of the Upanishad we read that a man of realization becomes nativadi, otibadi, no otibadi. What is that? That is, he becomes humble and does not assert himself. We think that is on many times in the world of we live, your humility is misunderstood because you cannot fight, you are weak. Yes, that is true, sometimes we cannot. But in spiritual life, that's a quality. That's a quality. Humility is a quality to develop. Egolessness is a quality to be developed. And surrender to God. So the inner feeling is to surrender with the power of God. Do whatever you do with the power of God. That means your ego should be wiped out. God will jump into your life. As I gave the example, whenever the baby cries, mother does everything for the baby. Not to think of anything else. So that should be the spiritual attitude. There is a prayer of Sri Chaitanya which my master, means Brahmananda, repeated to me. I am reading page 71. What he said, we chant it every time. Be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself. Give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. And we chant every day. But we have to practice. Do we practice? Do we remember? That is the point. We forget. So every day that is a spiritual practice, bhaktas. In the Psalms, we read, him that hath an high look, him that hath an high look and proud heart will not I suffer. In old English, no? And in Proverbs also it is said, quote, everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Peter said, God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. So he is quoting from Bible and the Proverbs and what you call the Psalms and also statement of Peter. No? And now he is managing with Krishna. Krishna also says, describing the demonic tendencies in man, says, conceited, haughty, foolishly proud, these malignant creatures are full of egotism, vanity, and wrath. I cast them back again and again into the womb of degraded parents, subjected them to the will of birth and death. Shipami, ajasram, ashubhan, asuri ishu ebo jonishu. They are born in a demonic family, in a demonic surrounding. Forgetting God, they will have to spend there much more longer time. But those who are humble, there is a protection. And those who forget that, they will have to see the consequences. This does not, however, mean that these are lost forever, or the Lord God withholds His grace from them. After suffering throughout many births, they will ultimately learn to discriminate and devote themselves to God. It is the ego that keeps them blinded. Every life, look at every day's life, we get too much blow when my ego is there. And if ego is subdued, it does not hit you. The things will happen, but you will be free. We know all these things. We also experience little bit here and there, but we apply every day. So all trouble, ami mole ghuchibe janjal, Thakur said again and again in the gospel. Whenever my ego, my pride, my all this haughtiness will go, bas, all sufferings of life will be vanished. It is true that both experience of happiness and misery in life are great teachers. But misery is a greater teacher. Misery is a greater teacher. No. Now this COVID situation is going on. Huh? How many big guns talking big things. But in the heart of the heart knows, oh my God, I may get it now. It may get there. I don't go to the mix with people. I don't get it. Why? Why are you so fearful? Big guy. You have so much pride, ego. You have money. You have good health. And don't go. Why? Why are you frightened? And those who went there and see the result died. Huh? Huh? I see. But misery is a great teacher. For when a man is in the depths of misery and finds no way out, then it is the turn towards God, knowing that God alone is the refuge. Samasto, when all the doors will be shut. When I am in difficulty, I knock at this door. Refused. I knock at that door, knock at that door, not. And all the doors you find shut down. Doctors say, sorry, it is beyond our reach. We cannot do anything more. Then you go to where? Turn back. Oh Lord, no? You may be atheist, but something you have to think about that. Where will you now put your head? Where will you take refuge? That is the knowing that God alone is the refuge. That will be the misery. Misery is bad, but misery has the other aspect. It gives us eye-opener. Not this, not this. Every door, whom you loved so much, who were very kind, by your kindness they are reared, nurtured. When you are in difficulty, go and see, they don't recognize you. Then where will you stand? Only God. God is not a... already time is there. I should not... Or another two paragraphs. I just read it. God is not partial to anyone, nor does he withhold his grace from anyone. But as Sri Ramakrishna says, on high ground rainwater does not accumulate. Similarly, the grace of God is not felt by a proud man who has a high look. The moment we learn to be humble, we begin to feel God's grace. When Sri Krishna described how he subjects those a demonic nature to the will of birth and death, so that they may learn to devote themselves to God, to him, he is not contradicting himself. For he says elsewhere in the Bhagavad Gita, my face is equal to all creation, loving no one nor hating anyone. Nevertheless, my devotees dwell within me always. I also show forth and am seen with them. So we end here. We could not finish it. But I will read next day from this other book, the explanation of it. Now, question, again question. Let me see what question. Does God love healthy self-respect and hate pride? Does God love admiration and hate jealousy? Actually, God loves means, yes, in Vedantic perspective, God does not have any liking or disliking. But in the relative plane, if we say God loves healthy self-respect, of course, healthy self-respect. You have used a very wonderful language. Self-respect. That means you know, I am a child of God. This healthy respect. I know this much, that I am a child of God. I can surrender myself to God. So this is a healthy. Yes, God loves that. Does God love admiration and hate jealousy? No, no, no. God has no business. If someone praises me, if I get elated, I am damaging myself, because by God's grace only I got the success. People forget. Any success, any achievement by your power, that is God's power. So you forget. Because you forget, then you suffer. That is the point here. And that suffering is expressed as jealousy. Jealousy, of course, jealousy, hate, ego, this comes in a negative quality, tamas quality, rajas quality. Therefore, in the other sense, when we are jealous, when we are egocentric, we are away from God. And that is the jealousy. God is jealous means God does not like it. Why? Because it is taking us away from God. But when one can be connecting with God, anyone praises you, you say, thank God, they are praising you, O Lord, not me. What Christ said, that who was praising Christ and said, oh Lord, you are done anything. Oh, you are so good. Then Christ said, God is only good. Who else is good? So he is transferring his admiration to God. So admiration people will do. But are you taking it as a pride of yourself, or it is a grace of God? So we have to think that all glory goes to God. Okay? Thank you. I can say I am realizing God when I see God's grace in my life. Can I say I am realizing God when I see God's grace in my life? Yes, of course. Also another question. I know that having desire of worldly things is bad, but can the desire of furthering one's academic capacity can also be considered as worldly desire? Academic capacity to increase is better than that of other type of achievement, but in the sense of God realization or attaining the highest joy, it is worldly desire. But one should have this first, and then after attaining good academic career, having PhD, having all the stamps of the world, then you see the futility. What is there? Suppose who has not finished the college, for them it is, oh my God, his master's degree, he has finished the degree course, and oh my God, she is a PhD. And now the same person who crosses PhD asks him or her, what is your PhD? What is that? Because you have already got, you know what it is, ends in where. So that you can feel the voidness of any achievement. So worldly sense it has value, but in spiritual sense sometimes it is a bondage. It is said that spiritual sense it is a bondage, and Ramakrishna order, that was the way of thought. Because you learn much, then your time is wasted in academic career. You could have utilized it for your God realization. But that's why emphasis was not much. Emphasis was on loving God. But in worldly sense, yes, we have to accomplish that much, then we can go for the further. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Jai Mata. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Next class will be 7:30 and that will be Nectar of Supreme Knowledge. Okay, thank you. Hope to see you again.